Welcome back from our 2-week hiatus.
Yes.
It was a lovely week, though, I must say.
It really was.
I'm glad that we had the hiatus, but we are back, and today we are naming this our wedding spectacular.
Wedding extravaganza.
Extravaganza. Okay, so to start off our extravaganza episode,
Wait, you have something.
What is
on
it?
your face? Sorry.
Oh, okay, is it an eyelash or what was it?
I think it was just makeup. Sorry.
All right. Anyways,
Sorry.
we are going to be starting off today's cocktail with a Prosecco float. Yes, I'm very excited about this. However, I will say that I thought that I grabbed a rosé Prosecco, but I didn't. I just grabbed a normal rosé. So
that's okay.
It's still going to be delicious, but normally you would do this with Prosecco. So you're going to start off with a couple of scoops of your favorite gelato or sorbet. We were trying to go with the really delicious raspberry and lemon sorbet from Save-On. I don't actually even know what brand it is.
Me either. It comes in a clear little
little jar. It's absolutely delicious, but
So
of
good.
course they were sold out. So
They were on sale. That's why.
Probably. So we're going with this Chapman's mixed berry sorbet instead, which, you know what, looks really delicious.
It does.
So I'm sure it's going to be fine. So you're just going to go with a couple of scoops of sorbet. Now, it showed to do, excuse my fingers, this is my glass anyways, so that's fine. I have another spoon here. I'll just use that.
You should see Marcus's face right now. He's disgusted.
Marcus is all about germs. So it showed to do like 4 scoops of sorbet.
That's a lot.
So I think that that's a lot too. So let's just do 3. Allie, could you please just move your glass a little bit closer to me?
Yes.
Because I don't want sorbet just going like everywhere. Marcus, you better get the paper towels ready just in case. Oh, we're out of paper towels. Well,
We used them all.
bummer. Okay, so we're going to do 3 scoops
That's quite enough.
of sorbet. Okay, let's just get that out.
Okay.
Then we are going to fill the glass with your Prosecco. We're going to use rosé.
We just have wine.
Obviously, which is honestly still going to be delicious.
It's going to be so good. I can't believe you're using that bottle of wine. By the way, it's a really nice bottle of wine.
Okay, but I'm only using it for 1 glass and then we'll enjoy it afterwards. I'm sorry, but I just thought that Mission Hill rosé would be delicious.
Oh,
in
I'm not
this,
complaining. I'm not complaining.
Okay. Then you're going to do 2 shots of a citrus vodka. We're just going to use a regular vodka today, and then you are supposed to top it up with just sparkling water. So I did a citrus sparkling water instead.
Perfect.
I did freshly squeezed lemons in here. It's actually really delicious. So you could either do a citrus vodka and regular sparkling water, or a citrus sparkling water and regular vodka. Doesn't matter.
It's going to have a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, I know. Also, I didn't bring a jigger, so we're free pouring. So... Sure. That's 2 ounces. Okay. And then
Oh, boy.
we're going to do some lovely sparkling
So,
water.
fun fact, my dog Ombre is now terrified of the sound it makes when you open something fizzy like that.
Really?
Oh, my God.
Oh, because of the soda stream?
He hates
That's
it.
really funny,
We call it devil water now because he gets so upset.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, and then you are going to do a quick little stir. And then you finish garnishing with a few lemon wedges or wheels, which I didn't bring. We're just gonna do some mint on here.
Is it
as
ever
well.
not a disaster when we're making cocktails?
Okay, you know what? We work full time.
We do.
Okay, and like we both have households to run.
It is what
I
it
mean,
is.
It is what
We
it
make
is.
do.
I'm sorry. It's not like we're like housewives just sitting at home. This mint, I just don't know how I feel.
That was the
This-
best one that
just don't
they
know how
had,
I feel
okay?
about this mint. So we're just gonna pop like a nice big old leaf in there. And anyways, it's not like we're housewives just sitting at home buying mint all the time. I don't even know. Okay, and then we're just gonna put in your, I mean, honestly, that looks really delicious.
Cheers.
So there you have a Prosecco float.
That looks really good.
That does look really good. Let's take a picture. I feel like we've taken pictures of like our last 5 cocktails and not actually posted any of
Oh
them.
my God. Oh my God, it's so good.
It looks really good. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so Allie, I'm just going to need you to fill this time while I put everything away because there's sorbet that's going to like melt everywhere. So,
okay, well,
tell us about your day.
Oh my God, my day was so annoying. You know, when it's just nothing is working out the way it's supposed to, you know? There's construction everywhere. You're just trying to like drive to the next place and you can't go the way you want to. And then you go to the grocery store and they're out of everything you want to buy. That's been my day so far.
Sounds terrible. Marcus, can you please help me by grabbing these like sorbet covered spoons? I don't even know, but like I can't have them right here. So maybe just in like on a plate.
We should probably just
something.
Cut this part out.
Thanks. I have a whole thing of
Thank you.
ice right here. We can put the sorbet in the ice. We're going to take a short break after 2 minutes of being in our podcast. No, Marcus is fine. We'll be fine. Okay. Anyways, let me just slide the ice over to Marcus.
Okay.
That's my lovely picnic backpack, by the way, which everyone should have. There's ice in here, by the way, if you want. This whole thing is filled with ice. It's a great backpack it comes with plates, salt and pepper shakers, glasses, cutlery, a little Tupperware thing for like butter or whatever else you want to put in there, a corkscrew. It's really great. And then it has a whole like insulated compartment that you can put whatever you want in there. And then it has an insulated thing for a bottle of wine. It's pretty great. I don't even know where I got it from. Probably a garage sale.
This cocktail is so good.
Oh, that's really good. This would be a really good cocktail while you're sitting out on the patio on a really hot day like today. You know,
God,
just a little bit of berry flavors in there. Yum. Oh, I love the addition of Mission Hill Rosé. Okay, so today we're going to talk all about the wedding. And I made quite a lot of notes.
Okay. This is going to be a very Cher heavy episode.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And that's okay.
Okay, so I got married on August 1st, so about 10 days ago. Since then...
How is married life?
It's been awesome. Everybody says that things change when you get married, and a lot of people kind of joke that like, oh, everything sucks when you get married. And I'm sure that that's maybe eventually going to be the case. But we're just very much in like the honeymoon newlywed stage. And so it feels different in a really good way. Like I think we talked about it last night. We both just really feel like we're a team. Now as we move together throughout life, we're a team. And so we have to look at everything as two of us now, not living individually. And of course, before, I mean, we owned a house, we've been together for a long time. And of course, you're always considering the other person, but I don't know. It just feels like a little bit different now that you've actually fully made that commitment to each other now. And Jeremy kind of made a point about how he goes, I don't know, it's just this weight kind of has been lifted off of my shoulders and I just feel so much better now. And I don't know if it's just the thought that until you're actually married, like anything could really happen, I guess. And anything can happen now, but it's a lot different now because we can't just up and say, I don't want to do this anymore tomorrow and leave. It's a lot harder than that now. So you really have to work through those things, and you've come so far and you've put so much work and everything into it to get to this point that it's not as easy as just saying, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. You know? So yeah, we felt really, really good this entire like last week and a half. And it's been nice, just the two of us now that everyone's gone home. And as much as we love being around our family, it's nice just being the two of us. And, I don't know, we've had like more in-depth conversations lately about like the future and what we want and what we're working towards, which is awesome. And I'm a planner. I think 10 years ahead all the time. And Jeremy's always kind of had to learn to keep up with that. And now he's finally on that same page, which is awesome. So I think, especially because we got engaged, it feels like forever ago now. I mean, we were engaged for 20 months. Okay. Something like that. So when you think about it, like that's a really long time that you start to kind of get to a point where you're like, I just want this thing over with, Yeah. And then you feel like everything else in your life is hinging on that one thing happening. So now that it's happened and it's come and gone, it's kind of like, okay, cool. We can we can like actually start our lives now.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper, but we both feel really good and really different about it. So
good.
Yeah, I'm loving it so far. And we're going to try and like extend the newlywed phase as much as we can because we're not going on our honeymoon until next year. So then we can kind of relive those moments.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're doing that because honestly, like after a wedding, it's like bridal depression is a real thing. And so it's nice to have something to look forward to. So
totally.
It's not like the wedding's over, but it's not like over. Yeah.
Well, and it's post-wedding blues. My mom and I were talking about this because she said that too. She's like, I just feel like it's just over now and everyone's gone home. And she's like, so that's it. We're done planning. We're done celebrating. And she's like, I'm actually kind of sad. And I'm like, I know post-wedding blues are a thing. So I think that's kind of what we did too. I think getting married on the long weekend really helped us because we got married on the Sunday and then the Monday was the stat. So most people stuck around and then we didn't go back to work. I didn't go back to work until the Wednesday. Jeremy didn't go back to work until this week. So you do kind of still feel like you're extending it a little bit more and you're getting to see your family and everything because a lot of people, they get married on the Saturday. Sunday, everyone leaves. Some people go back to work on the Monday or some people go on their honeymoon right away.
Yeah.
And then they come back and you're like, okay, well, that's done.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that we're extending it too and just getting to revel in that whole thing. But it was a fantastic day. So I'll kind of just start off maybe with like our small business shout outs, which are really just all of my vendors. And then what I'm trying to do is just be really helpful for other people who are in the same position as me or, looking to get married or recently gotten engaged and just don't know where to start. I've been in the wedding industry for a long time. I've been in a lot of weddings, coordinated weddings. So I've cultivated a lot of different vendors that I've liked to work with and who I always said I would enjoy to work with on my own wedding. And that really worked out for me. So first and foremost, and this is arguably the most important vendor, is a day of coordinator or a wedding planner.
Yeah.
So I worked with Brea Short, who owns Shaping Memories events. She's fantastic. I've known her for a long time. I've done multiple weddings with her, and I knew that she was going to be the best person to do my own wedding, especially because she knows kind of, that I'm a planner. So we felt it was really easy to work with each other. But I don't know, you can probably attest to this too, because you were in the wedding, that having somebody who is there throughout the entire day, that's keeping the schedule going and is your go-to person is huge.
Yeah.
Brea was there from 9 a.m. to, I think she left around 8 p.m. And she's the one that's doing all of those things that are going to make your wedding happen, that you want to have happen. Because so many people say, oh, like my aunt will do that or my parents will be around. Your parents don't want to be the ones putting your favors on all of your tables and doing all your seat covers. It doesn't work. You need to have a coordinator there who can do those things, or a decorator who can do those things, so that your family can actually enjoy the day of.
Yep.
And picking a good coordinator who is getting stuff done but is not I don't know how to say this, like almost like you're invisible, like you're doing things behind the scenes that nobody really notices that you're doing, but it's all just happening. And Brea's really good with that.
Yeah, she did a great job.
She was fantastic. I absolutely loved working with her. She's got a very calm demeanor. She's very straight to the point, super organized. And a lot of the times with a day of coordinator, you get a lot of hours before your wedding as well to make sure that your timelines are good. All your vendors have been reached out to. She'll email every single one of your vendors and say, hi, here's who I am. What time are you going to be there? Just following up and making sure that everything's good to go. And then she did some of my decorating as well. But I've always said that that's your number one investment, is a planner or a coordinator. So Brea is fantastic. I love her. There are a lot of other coordinators along the island. I know Victoria is a huge coordinator kind of group of people that you can pick from. The Northern Island isn't as good. So I've always found that I love working with Brea, but Borrowed and Blue Events is another good one. And the Good Party in Victoria, I love them. Oh my God, Emma McCormick and her weddings are absolutely spectacular. So coordinator. Photographers were Courtney and Steve Julian photography.
Oh my God, they were amazing.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I have said right from the very beginning that I was going to get them. I didn't even look at a single other photographer. I knew hands down that they were them. I didn't care what the price was. That's what it was. For me, every single photographer is a little bit different. They all have their own personal style, you know? So for Courtney and Steve, they like big, bright, you know, epic photos of these gorgeous landscapes and very posed. You know, Courtney loves the pose where Steve is more on the candid side of things. They also do videography as well, where other photographers, you know, that romantic style is really popular right now. So you kind of have to pick a photographer for whatever vibe you're going for and the look of the photos that you want. And that's just looking at their portfolio and seeing. But I personally have always said I like having two photographers. You know, guy gets to go with the guys, girl gets to go with the girls. Then you always have both sides of the wedding captured.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times you only have one. How are they supposed to be everywhere? Exactly. So you miss half of the day.
Yes.
You know
what I really liked about them was like, so when we were doing the group shots, like they were like posing people, but then they would be like, Allie, put your chin up. Like, you know, don't hold your flowers like that. And it's normally like when you're shooting like a group like that, it's like, oh, who cares? Like, you know, someone's going to look shitty in the photo at some point.
Nobody ever
like,
does.
No, like they care how everybody looks in the photo, which is nice.
And that's the other good thing about having two people. So after the ceremony, we did all of our family photos and everything. Steve is taking the photos. So he's directing the people that are actually in the photo. Courtney's then going over and going, okay, so-and-so, grandma, uncle, you're on deck. Okay, next we're going to have this. Get in your positions. So it all moves so smoothly and they're on top of it. So you're not wasting any time. And yeah, it worked out fantastic. There's so much fun. And that's the other thing that I love about them. Yeah. They're just fun. They're fun to be around. They're fun to hang out with. And then they capture these spectacular photos. And we did a same day edit as well. So we got to see 50 of our photos during our reception, which was a blast. Our guests loved it. Yeah. And then they actually get to see what you've been doing all day. And you get to see, you know, what you've actually prepared for and spent your whole day doing. Yeah. I'm so glad that we did that.
Yeah, me too.
And then, you know, and then you have those photos right away too, because that's the other thing. Everybody wants to see your photos. Yeah. And most of the time you have to wait 6 to 8 weeks before you get them. So having this little teaser was great because now everyone's like, that's all they can talk about. Yeah. Our photos.
Well, God, like, and it's like, you don't take photos yourself that whole day. No. Like I had a possession the next day. And my client is really, really into weddings. So she's like, I want to see all the photos. See everything. And so I'm like, yeah, for sure. And I pull out my phone and I'm like, oh.
I didn't take any.
I didn't take any photos, but for some reason I thought I did.
I didn't. I didn't touch my phone barely at all that day. No. Right. And so that's the thing is you're not. And especially you want to be in the moment. You don't even want to be taking photos. No. Right. So yeah, I personally, and this is something that you need to learn too when you're planning your wedding is figuring out what your budget is and then putting percentages to the things that you value to be the most. And photographer was always my number one. And that was what I was willing to spend the most money on. Yeah. Because that's the only real keepsake that you have of the wedding, right? So next videographer was our lovely Marcus, our lovely producer Marcus. So Marcus came and did videography the entire day, which was fantastic. I always knew that doing a video was a great thing, but it was never high on my priority list. But it wasn't until I met Marcus that I decided that was something I would really value. And I can't wait to see the video. I'm so excited, but just having him there the entire day was great because we get to capture a lot more in a video than you do in a photo, obviously. And I think Marcus had kind of made a comment that working with Courtney and Steve made his life a whole lot easier too. And so that's another thing that you want to make sure that you are aware of is that your videographer and your photographer really have to get along. Because we were kind of talking about that with Courtney and Steve too, that it can be challenging sometimes working with different vendors and people that you've never worked with before, because then you might not always get the footage that you want either because they're not coordinating, right? We got married at the Nanaimo Golf Club. The ceremony was under the willow tree there down by the 10th tee box, which was gorgeous. Yeah. I'm so happy that worked out because that's not where we were originally going to get married. So I'm super happy about that. Haley, who is the food and beverage manager there, she also does a lot of the on-site coordinating for weddings. She's fantastic. Yeah. absolutely fantastic. Great to work with. She came and did our rehearsal with us the day before, and she's so lovely, very on top of everything. So I think the whole ceremony like went off
She has
without a
no
hitch.
nonsense.
Oh my gosh.
Which is what
yeah.
we needed to keep everybody in line.
I know. We have a whole bunch of hooligans in our wedding party. So yeah, she's very like, this is what's happening. Everyone listen. And that's the other thing I really liked about the golf club, having the snack shack right there.
Yeah.
That when we were doing like just our bridal photos of me and Jeremy, then our bridal party could go and have a drink and like still watch, but kind of be hanging out.
I think we drank them out of Vizzies that day.
Oh, that makes sense for sure. Actually, that definitely makes sense. So love the Nanaimo Golf Club. I wish we could have had the reception there, but because of COVID, it just wasn't going to work. So we did it in my mom's backyard, which was fantastic. And you wouldn't even know from the photos that we were in my mom's backyard.
No, I've had people ask like, oh my God, where was that? It was gorgeous.
I know.
I'm like, that's Cher's mom's backyard.
Which is so crazy. So I'm so grateful to my dad's wife, Lisa, and her best friend, Shannon.
Yeah.
They were there for 3 days before decorating everything. They very much took my vision and amplified it 10 times. And yeah, it was spectacular. Which then kind of goes into my flowers and rentals. So we did flowers with Foxglove Flowers in Victoria. Lovely lady named Colleen owns it. She's fantastic. Flowers are a hard one because you don't get to see anything until the day of. So you give your vision and you send photos, but you don't truly know what it's going to look like until afterwards. But the flowers were spectacular. I had so many people tell me they were the most beautiful bouquets that they'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And everything lasted for a really long time afterwards. Like I had all of the flowers left over in my house for like a week.
Yeah. Well, I caught your bouquet.
Yes, Allie. Actually, Allie didn't just catch the bouquet. Allie fought for the bouquet.
I didn't have to fight.
She
for
pushed
it.
people out. Of
I
the
did.
way,
That's
for
not
sure.
No,
I saw some elbows.
That's not true. All I had to do was jump up. It was like,
I know you were in a good spot.
Yeah.
I wasn't even trying to do that.
I know. Well, we talked about it before, but it didn't work out that way.
I wanted you to catch the bouquet.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad
I didn't even try. It
but,
was great.
Yes. But so we put the bouquet in Kurt's truck so that we wouldn't lose it.
Right.
And then we took a taxi home and accidentally left the bouquet in the truck overnight. And I was like, oh my God, no, it's so hot out. It's going to be horrible. But like they still were nice and fresh the next day. Yeah. And they stayed for like a week.
Yeah. So I really wanted to preserve my bouquet. So I bought resin and everything. I just wanted to preserve the flowers in general.
Yeah.
So I bought resin and I went to go do the whole thing. But what I didn't do is you're supposed to dry them in the dark for like a week so that they keep the color. Yeah, I didn't know that. Then you're supposed to spray them with kind of like an acrylic adhesive almost so that it keeps them in like their shape almost and the color.
Okay.
And then you're supposed to put them in the resin. Well, I didn't listen to any of those things. And then I was like, trying to get everything finished after the wedding and blah, blah, blah. So I rushed to do it and it totally wrecked all the flowers.
No.
So I just like kept the rest of my flowers in vases and stuff. And then I was so sad when I had to actually throw them out because they're just so beautiful.
Yeah.
They were lovely. So I was very happy with Foxglove Flowers. She's fantastic. Colleen's great. Wonderful to work with. Totally listened to my vision and asked lots of questions. We made a vision board. It was great. So I definitely recommend her. For rentals, Triple T's did a lot of our stuff. Triple T's is in Nanaimo. Christine, who owns it, is very, very lovely. Super easy to work with. They have a lot of really great stuff. Guys come, drop off everything. They come and pick it back up whenever after your wedding, and that was really easy. We got a couple of things from Party Mood in Duncan, which I'm like absolutely obsessed with. Party Mood's really great for really unique things. They have a lot of one-of-a-kind pieces, really neat couches and furniture and backdrops and arches, all these different kind of linen and cutlery. Fantastic. And then we got like our big love sign. We took so many pictures of the love sign and we had a ton of people messaging us and asking about the love sign. So that's actually rented from All-in-One Party Rentals in Comox. But you could more than likely probably build one. But we rented that for $100. So nice. I mean, that's really inexpensive. We had a school bus taking us all around. So Wilson's Transport from Victoria, Alicia and James from Wilson's were fantastic. Jeremy thought it was going to be really tacky to ride around in a school bus. I thought it was hilarious.
I loved it.
I thought it was great. And the nice thing is that because there was 14 of us, plus a photographer if she wants to come, or plus Marcus or whoever else. Getting a limo for that many people is non-existent. You'd have to take more than one, and they can be really expensive. Where a school bus can fit up to like 25 people on it, and all the windows were down, and we were just roaming around. It was awesome.
It was.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really fun. And the other thing that I don't like about limos is, like, let's say you get a stretch limo, the person who's sitting way at the end, like, you never even get to talk to them.
No.
Where in a school bus, you're all like right beside each other.
Yeah.
Right. So I was very happy with that. Our hair was done by Aura Hair Boutique. They were great. Grace and Nikki, they were fantastic. Everyone's hair looked awesome. I loved your hair. Having it up in the ponytail. Now that you had your hair up in a ponytail, did you like it? Do you wish you had done something different?
I don't like my hair up.
I normally don't.
I never
like my hair
have
up either.
I never will. I won't do that again. But she did a really good job. That's just my personal preference.
100%. And that's how I felt about like my hair at prom, for instance. Looking back on all my photos, I hate how my hair looked because I don't wear my hair up.
Yeah.
And I was worried about that with the wedding too, that I'm like, I'd never wear it up. I don't know if I want to do that, but it looked fantastic.
Oh, it looked incredible.
And then Pretty Please Makeup Artistry, Mary Paul and Sydney. I don't know, is Sydney's last name still Braid? Blackie. Okay. Yes. So,
it's not Braid.
Sydney is, that's right.
Sydney
okay.
Van Rysel.
Thank you very much.
Sydney Blackie.
Yes. Thank you.
Shout
I wasn't sure if Blackie, hi. I wasn't sure if Blackie was her married name or not. So I didn't want to get
It's her married name.
Thank you.
Yes.
So they did our makeup. I was super happy with how my makeup looked. I was just, that's another really hard thing because you don't really know how it's going to look. Right. And so you bring in photos and you want it to look the same, but it never ever does. But I was super happy and it lasted all day.
It did.
All day.
Oh, and I was like sobbing all day.
All the girls were crying.
And you wouldn't know.
No, not at all. And it was so hot and you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to those girls. They did a fantastic job. Everything lasted all day. I was super happy. Our bartending services were done by Van Isle Sips. I had never worked with them before, but they came very highly recommended. Our bartender, Jamie, was great. I will admit that I didn't really drink very much throughout the reception, so I didn't really get to deal with her too much, but I heard she was awesome, so which is great.
That's also what I heard.
Yes.
From all the drunk people.
Yes, from all the drunk people. Exactly. Our officiant was a lovely lady named Rosie Wright. She was wonderful.
She was so cute.
So cute. So nice. I was a very huge proponent for getting legally married before your actual wedding day because I've been to so many weddings where the officiant doesn't show up or they show up late.
Yes.
Or they're dressed in like a hoodie and sweatpants or they mispronounce the names of the bride and groom. And so I just didn't want any of that to happen. And I was really concerned about it, but we had met this lovely lady named Trellis Craig and she just seemed so wonderful and she came really highly recommended. And so I said, you know what, let's just do it. We're not gonna be able to make it work for before the wedding. So let's just do it. And then, she got in contact with me like a week before the wedding and said, I'm so sorry, but I'm just not able to do the wedding. Oh, no. But my mentor, Rosie Wright, she's lovely. I think you'll absolutely love her. She'll do a great job. I'm going to have her do it instead. So I met Rosie the day before and like fell in love with her. She's so sweet and lovely. Yeah. So I'm really happy that worked out. And she looked so nice in like her lovely little dress.
Yes.
I know. I was very happy.
Adorable.
Adorable. And then just my last like small business shout out is Chateau Wolf Winery. So we went and took some photos at Chateau Wolf all throughout the vineyard and then kind of like up at the very top of the vines, you could see all of Mount Benson in the background. All of the photos so far that I've seen of the entire bridal party in front of those vines with Mount Benson in the back look amazing. Yeah. Like it's a stunning venue. So then everybody went back into the bus. Jeremy and I were just kind of in the vines with Courtney and Steve doing some last photos. And we went back down to get into the bus and April had gone to the bathroom in the little tasting room. So we just kind of followed her in there and Dylan came in after. And then Courtney and Steve are very like, they love to like ask for forgiveness, not ask for permission. So Courtney's like, oh, look at this door. Let's go in this door over here. And then the girl from Chateau Wolf is like, oh, you guys are more than welcome. Like, go and explore and take photos in there and stuff if you want to. Well, it turns out that's where the wine cellar was. Yeah. So we go into this like deep, dark little room that just has this one chandelier in it with these tiny little like warm light bulbs and these huge wine casks. And we got some photos in there with like the big oak doors. Oh my God, those are my favorite photos.
Yeah, me too.
They look fantastic.
They look amazing.
I can't wait to see more of them. So I'm so glad that happened because I never even would have imagined doing that. So that was fantastic. Thank you to Natalie, who owns Chateau Wolf Winery. It was actually her anniversary that day as well. So she wasn't there, but she goes, yeah, have fun. I've worked with her before. So I'm really happy that all worked out. It was fantastic. So vendors all around, will tag everybody. They're all fantastic. I was super happy with the team that we had around. I thought it made the day incredibly smooth. So I'm super, super happy in that sense. I also have made a list of just tips in general for weddings. So here we go.
Okay. Lay it on us.
Okay. Don't wear a bra the morning of the wedding.
Why?
Because it will create like indents all the way around, like indents on your shoulders and just all around your skin. So you don't want to have anything that can cause any like lines, for instance. So wear a robe or just something else that's going to be like kind of loose fitting that's not going to create any lines in your skin. You also want to wear something that has a button down or like a zipper.
Yes.
So that you're not putting anything up over your head after you get makeup or your hair done. So a robe is great. We all wore robes. I actually got mine on Marketplace, but there's a ton of different places you can order them from, Etsy, or like a button down shirt and PJs or whatever.
Yeah.
Designate your people to be your go-to person or your contact people the day of. So what I mean is when I'm getting my hair and makeup done and, my coordinator's coming up to me or my photographer's coming up to me and saying, we need this. Where is this? Where do you want this? Have your go-to people that you can say, hey, Allie, do you mind going into that tote over there and grabbing this to bring to Brea? Or, hey, Deanna, can you go and actually just pull out that box from underneath that table and give that to this or whatever.
Yeah.
So have your go-to people that you can call upon that morning of or throughout the day that can do those things to you and delegate things. I'm a control freak up the yin yang. So I really had to make sure that I delegated things to people. Otherwise I was going to do it and it was just going to push the timeline, and that's what you don't want. So don't be afraid to tell people what you need and ask for help, because I'm the first person to not do that. So do that. And then make sure that you have food the morning of. Like my mom was really great with that. I had told her beforehand, and I had told Jeremy's parents as well, for the guys, have something for breakfast. Even if it's just muffins or bagels or fruit or just something easy, because you don't think about eating at all throughout the entire day. And especially when it's a hot day, you need to have something.
Yeah.
And that goes into my next thing is just, we packed a cooler and a bag on the bus with sandwiches, water bottles, of some Vizzies, just so you can have something.
And that saved our asses. Totally. Literally, like we're all like getting ready to get on the bus, and we're all like, oh my God, we are starving. Yeah. And so, that was amazing. And the water, that's the other thing. You don't remember to drink water.
No, you don't at all. And especially when it's a hot day, you're sweating and you're not even really thinking about it. So what my mom had done was frozen a bunch of water bottles so that they were in the cooler, keeping stuff cold, and then they just melted throughout the day and we could drink them. And then she had just, enough Vizzies for us all to have a couple, and she made sandwiches for everybody. Just something really simple, and had some snacks and stuff that we could just snack on throughout the day, because you're surprisingly hungry and you don't even necessarily notice it, right? And you're not going to have time to actually sit down and eat something at all throughout the day, unless you wake up at 5 a.m. You're just not.
Well, we did.
Well, I woke up at 5:45. Speak for yourself.
Oh, I was up by 4 o'clock.
I woke up at 5, and then I think I slept for a little bit longer, but yeah. It's kind of like you're a kid on Christmas Eve. Like you just are so excited that you can't sleep, Have a plan of who is going to get their hair and makeup done and in what order, so that you keep things going, because you only have so much time to get your hair and makeup done. And so we had our hair and makeup there at 7. The goal was to be in my dress at 11. And I thought to myself, that is so much time. It's really not. It goes by so fast. You weren't even paying attention. Also having a time that that's your stop time. that's it. No more hair and makeup, because if you don't, it's just going to keep pushing. And your photographers want to get different photos, like you in your robes and the girls getting ready and just relaxing and having fun and then changing into your dress. And it all goes by so fast that you need to have those boundaries. And so if you don't have a plan for who is going when, then all it does is just push. Yeah. So that was something that I didn't have. I still thought it went okay, but I could have been a little bit better on it. I already said use a day of coordinator, but use a decorator as well. Like if your coordinator is not the person who's decorating for you, because a lot of people don't understand that those are two different things. Right. Your coordinator can't like be getting there, making sure all your vendors are there, making sure everything's all set up, making sure you're on time, blah, 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 as well as decorating your entire venue. So hire someone to decorate either the day before or the day of, because all those things that you want to have happen have to get done. And your coordinator, like Brea, for instance, is also a decorator, but she doesn't do it the same day. No. She does it the day before, and then she has staff that will come and finish the day of so that she can be doing other things. So that's like a huge investment. Have a binder with your vendor contact info in it.
Smart.
So that if for any reason, like for instance, our bus was late and then it drove past the house, didn't know where we were. And we are trying to call the transport company because we didn't have the driver's direct phone number. And of course it's a Sunday, so they're not open. Right. And so if we didn't have their information, then we would have been standing there waiting. Right. Yeah. So having a binder that anybody can look into and go, oh, the caterers, we need them to come an hour earlier or an hour later or whatever, that you're not flipping through your emails trying to find somebody's information when you're trying to do other things. Whoever is helping you into your dress, make sure that they are dressed and ready, like either, with makeup or whatever. Yeah. Like my grandma and my maid of honor were the ones who helped me into my dress. And, my grandma had her hair done. She didn't quite have her makeup done yet, but she looked fantastic in our photos, right? I mean, those are the people that are going to be in your photos. That's so you want to make sure that they are dressed how they want to look, right?
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you want, those are special moments of those people helping you get into, and I love my grandma and she looks great no matter what. But I said to her, if you're in your PJs, if that's what you want to be in, that's totally fine, but you're going to be in a photo. So you just got to make sure that you're wearing what you want to wear. Right. And I don't think people always think of that. No. Because it also depends on your timeline too. Like my family wasn't getting ready at the same time that we were, because we did all of our photos and everything before our ceremony. So they don't need to be ready that early as we are. Right. Another thing is just like investing in bright lighting or making sure that you're around natural light, because like when we were downstairs getting ready, the lighting wasn't very good. So we don't have very many photos down there, but then we went upstairs or outside to get the most of our photos when we were getting ready. And it really makes a difference, Pack an emergency kit. So I always have an emergency kit in my car, but I brought it with us for the ceremony too. And there's so many things that you can put in this emergency kit. But here are just like a few things, like a mirror, a hairbrush, bobby pins, safety pins, a needle and thread, hairspray, deodorant, hand wipes, Tylenol, mints, anything and everything you could ever think of. It's just nice to have those things just in case, because there's also a lot of things that do double duty for things as well. Like hairspray gets pen out of things. Bounce sheets get deodorant out of things. Yes. So there's a lot of things that you easily wouldn't really think of that could actually save you if you were to 100%. Stain your dress or whatever. Another little tip is that the Tide to Go pens are not always a good thing to use, especially because if your dress is not white and it's off-white or ivory, a bleach pen could turn it yellow if you were using it.
Well, and sometimes the pens just like move the stain around and actually just make it bigger.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah, I don't recommend that.
Mm-mm. But there's a lot of things that get out other things that you wouldn't even realize. So
red wine, white wine gets out red wine.
Yeah, which is so weird.
Yes.
I know. Not that you'd have white wine on you, but I guess in the reception you would. But but either way, like there's lots of different things and it's worth it. Like we didn't have to use any of those things, but it was worth it to have it just in case.
Well, and let me tell you, I did use safety pins and needle and thread.
Yes, you did.
My bra was like giving me a really hard time. So I actually had to get somebody to sew my bra to my dress.
That's right.
Which shout out to Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon's awesome. She's so creative.
Incredible. She's like, oh yeah, I've got my whole sewing kit in my car. So we like ducked into a back room and she
quickly just sewed your bra to your
sewed
dress.
my boobs in.
Yeah. But that's the thing is you don't think of those things happening. Anything can happen.
And I brought safety pins because I thought I might need them, but I did not bring a sewing kit. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. And I had a needle and thread in the emergency kit, but at that point you guys were already, you know, doing your thing. But yeah, and they always say like having thread that matches whatever your dress is or your shirts or your bridesmaids dresses or whatever, just in case. So it's just those little things, right? Schedule yourself logistically. This is just my opinion, but I tried to make the entire day flow logistically so it made sense to everyone. So there was less stress on everyone so that our guests didn't have a huge waiting time, that we didn't feel stressed, and allow yourself extra time for buffering because anything can and will happen. Yeah. And you don't prepare for things. And even me, like I wanted everything to be very planned and had a lot of time and still we were late.
Yeah.
Like I think we were pushing about 20 to 30 minutes late the entire day, which isn't a big deal. No. But it's just, you don't think about those things. So
yeah. Well, I think we were right on time.
We were right on time for the ceremony. But I wanted to be there half an hour before.
Yes. But that's just because you took those extra photos.
Exactly. Yeah. So it just is what it is. Right. And so we planned all of our photos before the ceremony so that we can get all that stuff done and not have to feel rushed about it. And our guests weren't affected in any way.
Well, and it's the worst when you go to a wedding and you've got the ceremony and then it's like 2 hours to the reception. So like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, we're going to go have lunch or go have a drink or something. Yeah. So we didn't want to have our guests do that. So what we did was we were out the door by 11. Well, we were trying to be out the door by 11:45. The bus didn't pick us up until noon. And then so we didn't get to the golf course until like 20 after 12. We did our first look. And so that's the other thing. This is just my personal opinion, but I really suggest doing a first look. So Jeremy was already down on the tee box and I came up behind him, tapped him on the shoulder. And that was the first time that we saw each other. And like the photos are so awesome.
They really are.
And then Jeremy and I did our vows at that same time too. And this isn't everyone's thing. A lot of people that I've told that to are like, what? Oh my God, that's such a great idea. I never even thought about that. And I know that's not everyone's thing. But for me and Jeremy, we just felt like it was more of an intimate moment that we wanted to experience just the two of us. Jeremy doesn't love to be the center of attention. And so we had kind of thought that if he did his vows at the ceremony, it just wouldn't really be the same. Yeah. He doesn't like to be in front of a bunch of people.
I relate to that so much. Like, I think that I would be so embarrassed to say my vows in front of people, especially my family.
Exactly. Like, and that's looking at what I wrote to him. That's how I would feel too. So I think what you would do is you would get to a point where you just wouldn't say everything that you wanted to say. And so then you don't actually get to experience it. Mm-hmm. So having it just between me and Jeremy was awesome. I'm so glad that we did it that way. And we got it all on videotape so everyone can see it and we can look back because of course I don't remember anything that he said or what I said. And so I'm excited that we got it on video. But I personally would definitely suggest that to anybody. I've read a lot of people say that it's always nice to schedule something into the day at some point of just the two of you to just have like a 15 minutes that you can actually like have a breather, have a drink with each other, right? And so this was kind of our time just to be the two of us. For those wondering, no, Jeremy didn't cry when he saw me. He was actually just really excited. And so was I, which is awesome. Yeah. And I've said this a couple of times that you see a lot of photos of grooms at the ceremonies and they're always, you know, like they're crying and they're upset, right? And so, because it's a happy, sad thing. But a lot of the photos are like them upset almost, where all the photos of Jeremy he's so excited. Yeah. So I'm really happy that was the reaction because like I just feel really good about it and he feels really good about it. So I'm glad that we did it that way. Know that things can and will go wrong. Like for instance, when we were walking down the aisle after the ceremony, all of a sudden the speakers like went crazy static. I don't even know what happened, but it sounded terrible. Yep. But like whatever. And at the reception, the big speaker that I had rented didn't work. So we had to use a Bluetooth speaker, which like is so tacky and I absolutely hate. But that's just what we had to do. We had to work with what we had to work with, right? So it just is what it is. So you just really have to not let that stuff bother you, and you have to let it go, because if you let that stuff stress you out, then that's all you're going to think of as your wedding day.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, our guests still had fun. We still danced to the music on the Bluetooth speaker. It just is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Don't let that stuff have any weight on you, because it doesn't take away from the day. Invest in servers if you aren't in a venue that is staffed. So I actually really laugh at myself for this, because the whole goal was that we were supposed to have like a cocktail style reception. So people were supposed to be up and moving around and just grazing on food as they went. And it wasn't supposed to be a seated thing. And then 2 days before the wedding, I decided that I didn't want to have anyone complain to me that they didn't have anywhere to sit, and I didn't know what to do. And so I decided 2 days before the wedding to create a seating chart and do assigned seating. So I did. And then I didn't think of the fact that, of course, now you have plates on the table and you have no servers to clear any of these plates, because that wasn't supposed to be the plan.
Wow.
And I have worked in a restaurant for 10 years, and I can't believe I didn't even think of hiring servers to clear plates.
We didn't need them.
I know we didn't need it. I know it was fine.
It was fine. People either bust their own plates. There's also people going around taking other people's plates, which is really nice.
That's true. It was fine. I'm just saying, I have done weddings before where I've coordinated a few where the bride and groom were like, oh, it's fine. People will just get up and clear their own plates. And I'm like, no. Just pay someone $20 an hour to come and bust the plates. I swear to you, it's going to make your life so much easier. It makes your guests' lives so much easier. It's a nice little touch that they don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
If you're getting married at a venue like the Coast Bastion or the golf club or somewhere where it's catered and they have staffing, they're going to do that for you. It's fantastic. But if you're doing a backyard wedding or any other setting that is not a staffed venue, please just invest in a server. It's so worth it. It's only for a couple hours. It'll make your life amazing.
I have to say, I was in a really bad mood before we got here, and this drink has just
I
brought
know.
me to life.
I told you.
I'm very happy.
Prosecco float.
Also, I'm reliving the wedding, so I'm also just very happy.
But I'm glad I could bring you out of the funk alley. Okay, next. When you're at your ceremony, and this goes for you and all of your bridesmaids, keep your head up the entire time.
Yes.
And remember to smile, because you are in every photo that is happening of the ceremony. And if you're not smiling, you're going to have that like resting bitch face or that what look on your face.
I have the worst resting bitch face. I look angry when I'm just not smiling. It's just a neutral face.
Exactly.
I look pissed off.
So you have to remember that when you're up there, nobody's actually like looking at you because they're looking at the bride and groom, but the cameras are capturing you. So you have to remember to stand there with a smile.
Yes, and then people will be like, "Oh, look, she's not even happy for her friend.
Like this.
No,
exactly.
she's mad."
Exactly. Or you have a weird look on your face or whatever, right? Like
some of them I do look weird, but it's just because I was like trying not to cry.
Well, I was standing there. I remember standing there. And it's like, I don't know, a few minutes into the ceremony, and I can hear all of you behind me just like sobbing. And I thought to myself, I'm going to turn around and be like, would you guys shut up? Like everyone is just crying.
Well, the squirrel was around.
Yes, there is the thought that there's a squirrel at the golf course that was there with us at the rehearsal. And then it came back at the ceremony. And there's the thought is that it was my dad's spirit coming back as a squirrel.
Let me tell this.
Okay.
So we were at the...
I didn't even see the squirrel.
We were at the rehearsal and we're at the spot with the willow tree. And there's just this squirrel hanging around, literally watching the entire rehearsal on its hind legs with its paws out. And we're like, what the hell? Like squirrels don't really behave like that. And then if people would
sit in one place.
And like stare at like an event, and then and people would walk like closer to the squirrel and it wouldn't move.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, that's kind of weird that it's just kind of
hanging
watching
out.
And so I had a thought like, oh, I wonder if that's Jeff. And then the next day was the actual wedding, and the squirrel was back. And so April April was another one of the bridesmaids, and April and I had been talking about the squirrel, and then I like tapped her and I'm like, April, the squirrel is back. And sure enough, the squirrel is in the exact same spot it was yesterday. There's more people around because now the guests are there. And the squirrel was watching the entire thing.
Which is so cool.
It is so crazy. So I'm like, okay, that is definitely Jeff. And then tell the part about the card.
So my dad's wife, Lisa, texted me a couple days after the wedding, and her and my dad's anniversary was also August 1st. So Lisa texted me and she goes, "You'll never believe what I found at the house." And she's like, I was going through like a bunch of old stuff. And she goes, "I found the card that I had bought your dad for our anniversary. And it was 2 squirrels on the front of the card. And they're like roasting marshmallows," which my dad and Lisa loved to go camping.
Yeah.
So it was just so weird that they had that she had bought that card and then the squirrel showed up at the wedding. And the girls were also telling me that a lot of dragonflies were landing like all over my dress as well. And dragonflies are a very like well-known, spirit animal.
Yes.
So obviously if that is the case, there was a lot of like people around.
There was
which is cool. So I love it. I did not cry one single time the entire wedding. I don't know how I didn't, but I was just having such a great day. So, but I love stuff like that. And so, I mean, the whole ceremony felt very surreal to me.
Yeah.
I've been to so many weddings that like I know how it all works, but it's just so different when like you're the one that's up there.
Yeah. Well,
and it's all happening, and it just I don't know. It's like a fever dream.
Yeah.
The entire
Well, it's
time.
like all day you're like, I can't believe that this is my wedding.
I couldn't.
This is my wedding. I cannot believe it.
I couldn't. I still can't. I still can't believe it. And that's like another thing that I have to say is like, just like everyone says, just soak it up. It goes by so fast. It's so true. It just, you have to like revel in this thing that you're doing, because I think for me, like I've watched so many wedding movies. I've done so many weddings. I've been to like 40 weddings, and so you think about this thing for so long, and then you're actually standing there and you're like, oh my God, this is actually happening. This is actually a thing. I can't believe that this is all happening. And then it happens and you move on from it and you're like, okay, so that's just done. And I waited for so long for this thing. And it's just, I don't know what it is. It's such a strange feeling.
Yeah.
It's like so hard to describe until you actually do it.
Well, I mean, it's not on the same level, but it's like when it's your birthday, it's like it's one day and then it's just over. But at least then you're like, okay, well, I'll get another one next year. So it's
I don't get another wedding
not
next
the
year.
same level. But
I know Jeremy's like, we're just going to have to renew our vows. I'm like, okay, well, that's like a 25-year thing. Like, can we do that like
you're not going to do that next year.
No. No, we're just going to have big like anniversary parties.
Yeah.
So that's the nice thing about getting married on BC Long Weekend is like, we can have a great anniversary party every year.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Sorry,
okay. I have a few more things to say. Okay. Buy or invest or have a spray bottle with water in it to spritz your flowers throughout the day, because they will wilt. They will. I don't care what you say. They will wilt.
100%. Also, we were on a bus and we had our bouquets in like water, but mine fell over because we were on a bus. So like I didn't have water for my flowers and they were pretty wilty.
So we did chocolate cosmos in the bouquets, and those wilted within like an hour.
Very quickly.
Like,
they were
very
really
quickly.
oh my God, they smelled so good.
They smelled like chocolate.
They did.
Yeah, but they wilted very fast.
They did.
So consider that. Can I just make one comment? There's a fly that's been sitting on top of that computer monitor. I'm not joking, for like at least 10 minutes. It hasn't moved. Isn't that weird?
Maybe it's your dad.
Maybe it is. Okay. Don't be upset if you wake up on your wedding day and it's not a bright, sunny day.
Yes.
You don't want a bright, sunny day.
No, you don't.
Overcast is way better. Bright sun is so difficult for photos, and then you're squinting and it's too hot. It's the worst. Overcast is way better.
You had the perfect weather.
We had a little bit of smoke, just a little bit, that was enough to kind of filter the sunlight.
Yeah.
It was a bit cloudy and like a little bit of a breeze, not enough, but it was gorgeous. And it rained the day before, and it also rained that morning, but like it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. But my next thing is make your rain plan your always plan. And I know I've talked about this before. Whatever you're going to do, just make sure that is your always plan, because what you don't want is waking up the morning of and going, oh my God, it's pouring rain. Now I need to rent a tent, and I can't because there's nowhere I can rent a tent, and we can't get it set up. And oh my God, I don't know what to do. And we're getting poured rain on and blah, blah, blah. So make your always plan your rain plan. This is just my opinion, but I don't find value in things like favors or programs or things that you think that people are going to take home. They're not. So like, for instance, we had a table out with our guest book and we had a thing that was like, oh, tell us your bucket list items or give us some marriage advice. Yeah, there was like 3 marriage advice things.
I didn't realize that it was there.
Yeah, I know. Like nobody signed our guest book.
Except for my boyfriend, apparently.
Yes, you
Not
did.
me. I didn't know.
Not Allie.
No, I
but
didn't.
same with like favors and programs and everything. Like, first of all, you need someone to put all those things out. One time I did a wedding where we had to tie an individual strand of lavender to a soap thing and put it on every single, it was ridiculous. Lovely, but ridiculous. And so no, people don't take those things home. You end up with like half of them on the table at the end of the night.
Okay, well, I went to a wedding a few years ago for Steph and Adam Potter, shout out. And they had these little customized golf balls that were really cute. I still have mine. I golf.
Cool. Yeah.
But I think I ended up with like 3 or 4 of these golf balls because other people didn't.
Exactly. Well, Becca's wedding was kind of like that too. She had these really cool, like monogrammed little glass mugs, basically. Yeah. But that's the thing is like half of the people left them.
I think I got one.
Exactly. So then you end up with a whole bunch of those left over. I mean, are you going to use a whole bunch of those at home? Probably not. So then what do you do with them?
I went to another wedding where they gave out little jam jars.
Oh, that's
with actual jam.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, because it was a customized jam jar, I didn't want to ever use it.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was like, oh shit,
you
this
can't
jam
use it
is like
anymore.
really old.
Yeah, exactly.
I should throw it out.
Well, that's the thing is that it's something that just gets put into like a drawer. So what I would suggest if you do want to do favors, do something like Tila is getting married this weekend. You know Tila.
Yeah.
She is doing cookies.
Shout out
to Tila. Tila told me the other day that she hasn't listened to our podcast yet, but she was asking what it's about. And so I'm going to tell her, well, you have to listen to it now because we talked about
it's a podcast about nothing.
Tila is doing personalized cookies for her favors. So she got all these different cookies made by, I believe she used Your Sweet Treats Bakery, who I think is in Parksville. And she did like all these different kinds of cookies that have like, you know, Tila and Ben on them, their wedding date, their colors, all these different things. And they're super, super cute. So if you are going to do something like that, do a favor that people are actually going to use that day. Like we did fans, and I only did that because it was so hot out, and I got them for $1 a piece.
I loved the fans.
The fans are fantastic.
We needed them.
And so, but at the end of the day, if people don't use them, which I think I have like 10 of them left over, we will use those.
Oh, it was so funny when Dustin was using his.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It said slay.
Oh my God, I did see that, and that photo is so funny.
Except for I just kept saying it said slut.
Well, I got them from the dollar store, so they weren't that great. A lot of them ended up breaking.
Some of them broke, but
I literally cleared them out of their fans.
Yeah.
So, hire a DJ. No matter the cost, just do it. I did so many things that I swore I would never do. Because we were doing a backyard wedding, I didn't want to have a DJ because I was scared about affecting the neighbors. I was worried that the neighbors were going to get really upset and then call the police, and I didn't want to do that. So I said, we're going to do a Spotify playlist. And I always said I was never going to do that because I'm sorry, but like no one is managing this Spotify playlist. And so you can't gauge the atmosphere of the room and put on the right songs when you want the right songs.
Yeah, you need a human being to pick the songs.
You do. And then what happens is people come up and they go, oh, I want to play this song. And then they start adding their songs to your Spotify playlist.
And they're skipping songs, which is so annoying.
It's so annoying because it's like, these are my songs. Yeah, like this is my wedding. Actually, I like this song.
Actually, I really liked that song. I wanted to dance to that, and you just skipped it.
Exactly. So hire a DJ because it's so worth it. They can gauge the environment and the atmosphere of everything and put on the right stuff.
Take requests.
Yeah. Bob Martineau from Primetime DJ. He's fantastic. As well as Todd Cameron is another really good DJ.
Oh, I have one too. Don Tessier. He used to do all the weddings at Tinamera. I haven't spoke to him in a while, so I don't know if he's
still doing it.
I think he's still doing it. I don't know if he's still at Tinamera or whatnot, but he is really great.
There you go. Invest in a DJ. They're not that expensive. Just do it. It's so worth it. Also hiring a bartender, especially like even if Open bar, cash bar, doesn't matter. Hire a bartender. You think that your Uncle Joe is going to get back there and make their own drink?
Nope.
No, don't do it. It gets messy and it's just don't do it.
Nope.
You want to keep a nice stocked bar that's stocked with ice and your straws and your napkins and your fruit and your everything, and it's keeping track of what's in stock, and just hire a bartender. Always have more glasses or cups than what you need.
100%.
That's the one thing that I always said. I wanted to get married at a venue. I didn't want to have a backyard wedding because of all of these things, but that was just the option that we had. So we had to make it work. But I've done weddings before where they run out of glasses and then people have to go like rinse out their Solo cup in the bathroom so that they can get a beer now or whatever, or they never come back with their Solo cup. So then you're running out of things and it just doesn't work. So invest in more cups or glasses than what you need for the amount of people that are there. Like double it or triple it, so then you never have to worry about that problem ever.
Can we take a break for a refill?
Oh, absolutely. We will be taking a very short break so that we can get new Prosecco floats.
Okay, we'll be right back.
And we're back. We decided just to have rosé. Okay. It's okay to leave early. It's a long day.
Yeah.
Okay. I woke up at 5 a.m. Got ready. You're in the sun all day. You're go, 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 go. You're visiting everyone. You're on, blah, blah, blah. You're hoofing around this huge dress. At 11 p.m., I looked at Jeremy and I was like, I'm exhausted. I just want to go and watch an episode of The Office and fall asleep. So I'm ready to go when you're ready to go.
Yes.
And he was like, honestly, I kind of feel the same way.
Yep.
Not a problem. He goes, no pressure tonight. Like it's okay. Like we can just go to sleep. And I was like, just so you know, nothing's happening. I'm literally watching an episode of The Office
table.
and then we're going to sleep. Like, I'm sorry, but no. I'm like, it's a long day. I'm exhausted. So it's okay. Like I got to a point where I felt really guilty because I didn't want to leave early. I wanted to be like one of the last people there, you know? But at the end of the day, like it's a long day for you and it's your day and it's okay to be like, okay, it's 11 or it's midnight. I kind of want to go home now, you know? That's fine. So leave whenever you want to leave and don't be upset.
Well, and that's like the old school thing to do anyway. Like
it really
usually
is.
like, you know, you leave.
Most of the time you don't even stay for the whole reception at all.
No.
In the old days, they used to leave at like 6.
Yeah. And then everyone would just party,
which is so weird. So it's okay to leave early. Also, though, eat something before you leave because Jeremy and I left at like midnight. And then we dropped off a couple of people because I didn't really drink. So I drove us to the hotel in my like wedding dress. And we went to go through McDonald's and they were closed.
Everything's closed.
Everything was closed.
Yep.
So we were like starving at 1 p.m. in the hotel. We stayed at a hotel, even though we were in our hometown. We stayed at a hotel just so that it could just be the two of us.
Yeah.
Also, teach your husband how to undo your dress because Jeremy could not figure out the buttons on my dress and I had to pee so bad because I hadn't peed the entire day.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. Not once. So I like by the end, I was like, I have to pee so bad. And he's like, I can't figure these buttons out. They're so complex. I can't figure it out. And I was like, they're buttons.
It's a button.
Figure it out.
It goes in a hole.
Exactly. So then no, it's like one of those ones that has like a little elastic.
It's just a loop. It goes around the hole or around the button.
And then he would take 4 down and then he's like, oh, is that fine? I'm like, no, you need to undo every single one. It was terrible. Also, pack a bag for wherever you're staying. Mm-hmm. I did pack a bag, but I forgot to put clothes for the next day in them. So I had to wear my Spanx, one of Jeremy's shirts, and his runners out of the hotel. So don't forget your clothes for the next day. Disposable cameras. I know that's like a really big thing is to put disposable cameras on every single table. They're really expensive. They're $20 a piece. And then they're another $20 to $25 to get them developed after.
Yep.
So, you know, I mean, if you've got 10 tables, that's $450.
Have you gotten yours developed yet?
No, I bought 4 of them, and then Deanna brought another one. So we had you brought another one. Sorry.
The
so
green one.
We had 5 of them. So no, I haven't gotten any of them developed, and I really want to do it. I'm very, very excited. So I think that's a great idea. It's a really nice keepsake, and it's you only get one shot. So many people would like take a picture with a disposable camera. They're like, oh, I'm going to take one more. And I'm like, no. That was your one shot. Yeah. That's all you get.
It's not a
digital camera. Sorry. No. So I say do it. We had looked into maybe doing like the Instax cameras, the Polaroid cameras, or like a photo printer, for instance. But I'm really glad that we did the disposable ones.
Me too.
Sweetheart table versus a head table. So I had always said that we were going to do a sweetheart table, and then our head table was going to be our bridal party plus their spouses,
right?
So that you can actually sit with your spouse. Yeah. Because I've gone to weddings, and I mean, Jeremy came to when Bria had her wedding. Jeremy had to sit at a table with people he didn't even know.
Yeah, and that's not fun.
No. So I've always said that if you're going to do a head table, have the spouses at the head table as well, so you can actually be with your significant other.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I got to have dinner with Kurt. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, because otherwise the bride and groom are barely even at the table anyway. Yeah. So then you're just sitting with the bridesmaids while your husband is way over there.
Yeah.
So I put my whole bridal party, I split them up between 2 different tables, each with their significant others. And I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So
we had a really fun table.
You guys had a great table. I kind of wish I was down there with you guys. So the only downside I will say about having a sweetheart table, I liked sitting up there with Jeremy, and where we had it positioned was great because people could walk by and say hello to us, but it was kind of lonely. Yeah. Like, you're sitting there eating dinner and it's like, well, you're kind of all by yourself. So it was, I don't know. So maybe do a combination of both or something.
Yeah.
Dancing shoes. Don't forget to bring dancing shoes. You're not going to want to wear the shoes that you wore all day.
Nope.
Not even remotely.
Nope.
Or another outfit to change into. I loved wearing my dress, and I'm a very big proponent of, wearing your dress all day. It should
you only wear it once.
Exactly. And it should be comfortable enough that you can wear it. But definitely invest in bustling your dress, because it is a lot to carry around all day. And when you want to dance, it makes a huge difference when it's only half of your dress that you're actually moving, or holding on to. So definitely invest in doing a bustle. There are a lot of people that change out of their dresses into say a cocktail dress or a romper, which is super cute, and it's really fun to dance in. I mean, it's a lot. You're hot and you're sweaty and you've been stuck in this thing all day, that it would be nice to change, but do whatever kind of works for you, obviously. I like the dresses that have the attachable skirt that you can take off, which is also kind of cool. Have a detailed timeline of the day. So anything that you want to have happen, or anything that you want someone to do, have that in a timeline, and then give that timeline to every single important person that needs to have that, so that they know what you want to have happen and when. Because what I found is I guess maybe I thought that people knew what I wanted, but the day before, my mom's like, well, can I have a timeline so I know exactly what's going on? And I started to realize that I planned this whole thing by myself. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you think that everyone knows, but having that on paper that they can kind of reference really makes
they're probably
going
to ask you anyway.
That's true.
That's what people do.
We did flower grandmas, which was awesome.
They were adorable.
So cute.
I loved them.
So my dad's mom and my mom's mom were our flower grandmas, and they had their petals and they absolutely loved it. Everyone kept saying they got a lap full of petals, and they just had so much fun with it. I didn't get to enjoy that at all because I was way in the back, so I didn't even get to see it, but I heard it was awesome. So I think that's such a unique thing. I know the thing right now is a flower guy all dressed up in a suit or whatever doing it, but I just think that the flower grandmas is such a cute thing, because those are people that help to raise you. They've been in your life your whole life.
And otherwise they're just kind of a guest.
They just have to sit there. Exactly. So I thought that it was just such a nice way to include them, and I'm really, really glad that I did that, because they were very happy. So that's all I got. So all in all, I thought it was a really great day. I'm super happy with how it all worked out. I couldn't have asked for a nicer day. I think everyone said it was such a beautiful wedding, and it was an intimate wedding. So we actually got to enjoy relaxing and visiting with all of our guests and actually eating our food. And yeah, it was awesome. So I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. I can't wait to see the video. Can't wait to see the rest of our photos. And then, yeah, here's to like an awesome anniversary party next year.
Yes.
I know. And now we can go on to doing all the other things like babies and all that stuff. So
After the honeymoon.
obviously. No, thanks. I don't want to go to Europe with a baby. Absolutely not. Not my thing. So thanks, but no thanks. But yeah, what's your like take on it? Do you think that like things could have gone better? Was there anything that you would have done differently? Like anything that you would learn for like your own wedding?
I mean, everything that you already touched on, like having the DJ, that would have been the only thing because Kurt didn't know. Like Kurt was like, oh, it was kind of weird that they didn't have a DJ, you know, because he didn't know. Well, the speaker was broken. He didn't know that. So
that's.
I mean, other than that, like no, like it was amazing.
I thought it was
so great.
Yeah, I thought it worked out really well. I'm very happy with how it went. So
definitely
good. But yeah, so I mean, wedding extravaganza is done. So now we can like not talk about the wedding anymore, and we can go back into like our regular scheduled programming. I think that we're gonna have a guest next week.
I think we'll have a guest next week. Yes.
Can we say who?
No.
We'll confirm.
Well, it's a surprise guest.
Oh, it's a surprise guest. But yeah, so I think I've been thinking a lot just about how to move forward. And I think having more regular guests is really important.
Yes.
And I also think that maybe once a week might be too frequent. It might be beneficial to do once every like couple of weeks, like every 2 weeks, but that's something we can talk about. I think that having more guests on will be really beneficial just to kind of give new insights to different things and new topics.
Yeah.
Because as we broaden our audience and just give them kind of more things to learn about or talk about or whatever. So yeah.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much.
Please check us out on our social media.
Yes.
I know you've changed your Instagram handle.
I did. I changed my Instagram handle. It's still ShareRow, and now I've just added it's sharerow.watt. WATT.
Okay. And I'm at Allie Morrison as usual.
And then we are Bitches in Business on Instagram and YouTube, but without the I.
Okay.
Toodles.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.